We're going to see how things break down early this morning. We do appreciate you guys joining us bright and early here. Look at it, like 8:15 East Coast time, so if we got any West Coasters awake right now, it's like 5 in the morning.
Oh, no, we have people that haven't went to sleep yet.
Oh, I like
They're
it.
still in the Moto P's and things like that.
That includes myself. I have not gotten any sleep yet either. So
You haven't, yeah.
No. Snorlax over here next to me. Just wouldn't let it happen. But we are underway here in game 1 of our semifinal match. Overgrown Tomb for Junk. As you see, Rick is going to start off with a Temple Garden. And keep in mind, after this game, we'll be coming back to the booth. I'll be asking you a hard-hitting question to be able to go to those 6 months of premium, as we're going to see a Lotleth Troll here from Brandon as the first play of the day.
All right, not that bad of a card, but as you can see, Rick does have an Azurius Charm to annoy him. If Brandon's decision was to mulch, he's not going to want to attack first. I know he's just not going to charm it.
Yeah, so he is just happy to take 2 points of damage here. Looks like Rick may try to cycle out his Azurius Charm, increase the velocity of his deck. And you are going to see Temple Garden come to play untapped into a Centaur Healer. Brandon's going to move up to 21, and we're going to see if Rick's going to cycle out. He's not. A little surprising there, as he does just take a draw step. Sunpetal Grove, Glacial Fortress, Gathering Township, the lands in the hand. Detention Sphere in his hand as well. Would you consider pulling the trigger on Detention Sphere right now, Brad? A little bit behind on the board.
Detention Sphere might not be that bad of a decision. I do kind of want to save them for the more difficult cards to deal with, like Angel's Trinity. But the one thing I'm trying to look at is, was that a double mulligan for Rick? Yeah, it does. It does look like a double mulligan for him. Not a way you want to wake up, go to sleep, get ready for your top
Certainly
four.
not. Not ideal. As we're going to see Detention Sphere take care of that Lotleth Troll. Centaur Healer is going to crash across, going to bring Rick down to 15. As you're going to see Brandon play Temple Garden tapped, and we are going to see a Lingering Souls, 2 spirit tokens on the way.
All right, so Rick really wants bigger spells. Now that's a good one. He doesn't have the lands for it yet, but he can cycle 2 cards for some lands. He can charm right now into a Sphinx's Rev for 2 next turn, trying to get up to that Angel of Serenity before Brandon's able to do so.
So now we are going to see an attack here for 5. You're going to see an Azorius Charm attempt on the Centaur Healer, but Brandon did just draw a Restoration Angel for the turn, so we'll see if he's going to pull the trigger on that, as Rick does have 2 copies of Supreme Verdict in his deck. So, you know, there are Wraths to play against, and both players do have each other's deck lists available to them, so they know that there are, you know, Brandon knows that there is Supreme Verdict there, and he is just going to let that go. Centaur Healer is going to go back on top. Rick is going to take 2 damage to the Spirit tokens, and we'll see how Brandon continues this turn along.
And I like that decision. Most of the time you're going to want to keep the Centaur Healer from the top of your deck, get the card advantage from Restoration Angel, but Thragtusk is a very good threat on a mull to 5, and the options are limited for a deck like Rick's. So just making sure you get that into play, especially in a matchup where Restoration Angel, Thragtusk tricks do work really well.
And so we are going to see a Thragtusk here from Rick to counteract Brandon, so 5 life for each of these players, as Brandon's going to draw that Centaur Healer. You do see the Vault of the Archangel among his lands right now. You also see that Sunpetal Grove in his hand and an Angel of Serenity looming there for Brandon. So Rick is going to need to do something pretty impressive here. The other thing that I do kind of like for Brandon is, you know, saving that Restoration Angel makes it so that, as you said, his Thragtusk is even that much better.
When Rick played his Thragtusk, that means that now he's just going to have to trade. It's much better to just get damage through than keep his Thragtusk around. So those trade, putting in any Brad Nelson tokens?
Oh, we'll find out.
Any?
Come on, make Brad happy early.
No,
Nope.
it didn't even give him his deck box.
Wow, no Brad Nelson Beast tokens.
We hand them out like candy.
It's a rough life.
It is.
No one said it'd be easy. Because we're going to see Lingering Souls get flashed back here. 2 more Spirit tokens. So Brandon keeping up a very, very nice board presence here. If only that Vault of the Archangel was the Gaffney Township.
Well, the Gaffney Township would be good, but not as good as that Vault right now, since Sigarda just hit the board.
That is true.
Yeah, it's very difficult to block anything on Brandon Ross's side. Vault is just going to be able to give all of his creatures lifelink, but more importantly, Death Touch to get around Sigarda.
And so here come all of the creatures. Sigarda's going to jump in front of Restoration Angel. Beast tokens are going to look to trade. And as you said, that Vault of the Archangels can just trade here very easily with Sigarda if Brandon wants to. And it looks like he is choosing that option. Creatures are going to die, and we're going to be left with some Spirit tokens here.
And a very high life total on Brandon's side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Sigarda is not targetable, but you can touch her.
That's true, even with the touch of death. So you do see Rick does have a Sphinx's Revelation in his hand and an Angel of Serenity, and now he does have a 6th land as well, so we could see a little Sphinx's Revelation on the end step for 3, into maybe that 7th land for that Angel of Serenity, as Brandon does draw a card.
An
Looks
Angel
like he
Serenity
has
himself.
he drew another Angel Serenity. So here comes an attack for 4. And we see a Thragtusk. So his hand left is a Angel Serenity and a Centaur Healer.
All right, so end of turn Sphinx's Revelation 4-3 from Rick is going to put him back up to 11 life and give him some more cards, hopefully a land for some Angels.
It looks like he drew at least 2 lands there. We'll see what his draw step is for this turn as well.
I think he hit a Celestial Charm, which will be very good. A cheap answer.
No, he just did. So Celestial Charm can take care of that Angel Serenity. And it looks like he's going to have an Angel Serenity of his own. Probably just clearing up those 3 Spirit tokens. How do you feel about targeting the Thragtusk here with the Angel Serenity?
I never want to do things like that, especially in a deck that can deal with my Angel. Because when you take the Thragtusk, you just give your opponent more inevitability. Like, I do like the decision of taking your own Thragtusk, but I would not want to take his. The Vault is the scariest thing here, but it gives Brandon the ability to continually put more things on the board. And
So
when Rick doesn't have cards like Garrick to get the card advantage back, it's going to be tough for him. So right now, this is going to get Brandon back a Thragtusk, putting Rick really behind on the board.
So you see Thragtusk passed away. Angel Serenity from Brandon takes care of Rick's Angel Serenity. You see some attacks here from the Spirit tokens and the Beast. And again, Rick is very far behind on the board. Celestial Charm can only do so much in this sort of situation here, but it will get back his own Angel Serenity. The question is, can he get all these spells out of his hand in time when he's not working with enough life? As you do see a Thragtusk in his hand that he is going to cast now.
It's going to put him back up to 16. Maybe he'll dig for that Omniscience he doesn't have. Then he can get all the cards out.
You see a Temple Garden here. He does just pass the turn back. Abrupt Decay is the draw step for the turn here for Brandon.
They could get a little tricky getting that Detention Sphere, getting one more creature to attack next turn.
And so here come your Spirit tokens, and Brandon's going to hold
Leaving
that
the
Beast back. A little bit surprising there.
Especially against just 2 open mana. It's not 4 for like a Restoration Angel.
Not for the complete blowout. And you see Rick considering his options here, as he does have a Zori's Charm and Celestial Charm in his hand. I think now's a good time to pull the trigger on that Celestial Charm.
He was still deciding if he wanted to attack.
Gotcha.
He knew he was going to attack with the creatures that can't be blocked. He was deciding if he wanted to attack with the actual Ground Pounder.
Sure. And so now you're going to see Celestial Charm here on that Angel Serenity. Celestial Charm, a card we'll bring up on the screen for you. A card that you felt, I know we talked about over the course of the day yesterday, that should be seeing a little bit more play now as it does take care of Angel Serenity.
Yeah, it does a lot of interesting things. One is it does combat damage and trample via the Silverblade Paladins, giving you a little bit more power. But more importantly, it kills off Angel Serenities and anything that got Gore Clan Rampagered, which is a very unique thing that it does and no one's playing around right now. So I do like seeing these Selesnya Charms. I feel like something I wanted to put in my article that I didn't this week, and then people just started doing. I'm so happy that because this is just a very good card. The 2/2 isn't as relevant though right now.
Unfortunately, frowny face on the 2/2. Not even a human. You would think it would make a human, just not a knight.
But I think you can snag Avacyn's Pilgrim here or there on turn 2.
Yeah, you can. Even those Arbor Elves, not a ton of those in the format, but
no one is prepared for Flash Bears right now.
So we do see a Thragtusk post-combat there for Brandon, sitting at a comfortable 46, while Rick is down to 4. And Rick just trying to stabilize here, trying to build a board presence. We know he does have Angel Serenity in his hand. You see the Restoration Angel as well. It's just how to go about deploying these threats now.
So I do believe that a Thragtusk went back to his hand, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. Or no, that was the Thragtusk that he got. One went back into Brandon's hand. So without the Thragtusk in Rick's hand, I don't really know what he wants to do with this board. I'm curious why he didn't trade with that Beast token, because I want the Thragtusk in my yard, so if I Angel, I put a Thragtusk underneath it again. So I was curious what he wanted to top to. Maybe he like really... Oh, he has a Restoration Angel.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He already has that ability.
Restoration Angel in the hand also has an Azorius Charm there as well, as you're going to see Brandon play a Woodland Cemetery. Did Abrupt Decay that Detention Sphere to get back Lotless Troll, and he's going to send in the team.
Now this gives Rick the opening to cast Restoration Angel, netting him a Beast token and 5 life. The Beast isn't as powerful as most Beasts because it's not a Brad Nelson token, but...
Accurate.
Yeah, very accurate. But he's also going to be able to do some tricky things with, like, after the Vault gets activated, he can Azorius Charm and keep something alive if he wants it to. I think the creature that I would want to protect the most is the Beast token, since everything else can go into your graveyard and then back underneath an angel
Sure.
next turn.
So it's okay if the real creatures actually do die. So now we're going to see Restoration Angel jump in front of the Lotla Troll. You'll see a Beast try to trade with the Thragtusk, or maybe not, as he's going to organize things a little bit differently here. Consider his options.
And I think that's what we're going to see.
So now you see the blocks are laid out here. Restoration Angel in front of a Spirit Token. Thragtusk looking to do battle with each other. Looks like we're going to need 4 spears. And a Beast Token in front of the Lotla Troll.
I think a spear equals a horn.
A horn?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Or at least a pair of horns. That's why they always trade with each other. But I mean, Brandon has a lot of decisions to make. If he vaults, he's not able to cast anything this turn except for a Centaur Healer. But he does have a Thragtusk and a Restoration Angel in hand as well. And vaulting just does slow him down a little bit, and also he'll have to pay 1 to regenerate the Lotla Troll, which doesn't allow him to cast that healer. So is he, you know, content with the board position he has right now, knowing that Rick has an Angel of Serenity in hand?
And so now we do see a vault activation. You're going to see Azorius Charm put that Beast Token
Interesting.
away.
That was his choice. I mean, not trying to protect any of his creatures. And he's just going to discard all 3 of his creatures. Is he dead?
He discards a Centaur Healer and a Restoration Angel. And that's not going to be a lethal attack.
But
Now, because of Death Touch plus Trample, he's going to be able to push some damage through with that Lotla Troll.
I mean, because it was 5, he dealt 4 damage there. But
after we clear things up here, we'll have a life total update here. Obviously, if Rick were dead, I think we would have seen a concessionaire picking up for the permanents here. But it looks as though he is alive, and we see him going to end up after all that combat at 5.
Did it look different? Maybe he said discard 3 creatures, and he's like, I'll charm that beast. Maybe that's what happened. I'm very curious. Or maybe Brandon's just waking up and he was thinking that the 3 damage was going to resolve after the Azur's charm, but it actually was gone.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure Brandon thought he was dead.
Yeah, either way, damage has resolved. We've moved back to Rick's turn, and Rick, of course, does have that Angel of Serenity. And now looks like a pretty gosh darn good time to cast it.
Yeah, you know, very behind on board. A Lotla Troll with regeneration and a Death Touch is something that's lethal even if he double blocks it. So it's a card that you need to get off the board.
And so here is Angel of Serenity. It is going to take care of that Lotla Troll. There goes a Beast Token. There goes a Spirit Token.
Now, because everything has Death Touch,
the Beast.
Do you like just making sure that Brandon just keeps a 3/3? So then you can trade 3/3s and have an Angel left?
I would prefer that, yes.
Yeah. I know that the Beast is bigger power, but not when a Vault's in play.
And you do see Brandon untap. He draws his card, and he's looking through his graveyard. I think that signifies a certain draw step.
Is it an Unburial Rites? It is an Unburial Rites.
It is an Unburial Rites.
So that's why you discard all your cards, because you can just get them back.
So we are going to see Unburial Rites here, and it's going to target Thragtusk. So Thragtusk will come back. Brandon will gain even more life. He's going to untap, and he's going to draw.
Prime Speaker.
Well, Brad, the thing is, he already has one in his hand.
Does he?
Friend.
Is that a Prime Speaker? I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it all this round. He's going to Prime Speaker, and then Brandon's going to top deck Craterhoof and kill him.
Happy Easter, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy Easter. And so now we are going to see Prime Speaker Zagana, a card that we'll bring up on the screen for you guys. It is going to be a draw 6.
Yes, he's going to get 5 counters on it, and because of the extra power that Prime Speaker has, that's 6 cards going to his hand. And as we figured out yesterday, when you draw 6 or 7 cards, you do not get to elect them all again.
Oh,
I just think it's an unfair.
Yeah, we got to talk to R&D about that probably. As we're going to see a breeding pool post Prime Speaker. Excuse me.
And we'll probably see Rick trying to get as many of those Farseeks that he drawn out of his hand now.
Yeah, probably ideal now.
Get all those mana sources out.
Turn those Gathering Townships on you a little bit better. Be able to cast multiple spells in one turn.
And the real power of Prime Speaker Bant that you'll see is if Brandon doesn't draw anything relevant for the next couple turns, every Restoration Angel that Rick draws is another 6 cards.
Yeah, and then the snowball effect really just starts to take place, and it's almost impossible to catch up then. If there is one deck that can do it, it is Junk Reanimator, especially when you're sitting at 62 life.
Yeah, you end up at a very high life total where they have to whittle you down, but you also have these hoofs that just come out of nowhere. Just waiting in the deck. Very much the best miracle of all time. Like, I don't think there's a more powerful miracle.
Emrakul would like to have a word with you.
Emrakul's not a miracle. You have to find him and cheat him into play.
So we do see Rick just does pass the turn back. Brandon reorganizing his lands. We do know he has an Unburial Rights in his graveyard and plenty of targets over there. But we're going to start this turn with a Grizzly Salvage.
And we are looking for Hoof.
So we're going to see Restoration Angel, Woodland Cemetery, Temple Garden, Lotleth Troll, and a Mulch. That is not a Hoof, Brad.
No, but the Angel will be able to help set it up next turn for whenever it does happen. It gives 2 more creatures, a lot more power, a lot more life.
Which is what Brandon is in desperate need of.
Well, it is, especially when he's sitting at 3 life. The more life you have, the harder it is going to be for Rick to send anything in.
Yeah, that's true.
When you're feared in that board position. He gets to say go. He can't really attack with an Angel's Serenity because of untapped Vault. Doesn't really, you know, he can send Prime Speaker, I guess, but then any Restoration Angel doesn't help trigger it. It's a tough board for Rick right now. He's just waiting for one of those hoofs to just end up half dropping, and
there are 2 copies in Brandon's deck, so he is sitting very live.
Oh wow, I forgot about that. I'm not someone that usually runs it, but there's an Obsidian sitting here too, waiting to see play.
That's true.
Now, Rick probably drew a Thrag Tusk, or we'll have access to one very soon after drawing a bunch of cards, because his deck is starting to snowball. But it's going to have to be quick because any Obsidian can kill in 2 turns, and any hoof kills instantly.
So we do see Brandon does take that Restoration Angel off that Grizzly Salvage, does still have that Vault of the Archangels among his lands, and does have an Unburial Rights in his graveyard that he can consider casting as well. But he is just going to pass the turn back. So Rick, after drawing all those cards, is going to tap all that mana, and now he gets to have all the fun.
I feel like that's part of a workout on tapping lands these days.
Yeah. With how these games play out, especially these mid-range mirrors, there are always a lot of lands in play. And when you're tapping off for Sphinx's Revelation, you are really building arm strength.
Yes. All right, so weighing the options, he's got a ton of them. He's able to cast a Thrag Tusk, blink that Prime Speaker. He's not going to want to do that till next turn, since he would have to discard a lot of cards. But he is going to want to find the nails in the coffin. And I say nails because you need multiples of them right now.
Yeah.
You're going to need to find multiple life gain things to gain you life. He's going to want to hit all of his Azura's Charms and Celestian Charms, or he's just going to send everything.
How about that?
Yeah, let's get this done. No fear.
Let's get this party started. And, part of the reason you probably see that as well is because, again, Rick does have 2 copies of Supreme Verdict in his deck, and he does have one of them in his hand. He also has a Thrag Tusk in his hand, of course, to push his life total from 3 to 8.
He also has 2 restorations where I do not want to lose my big fish man.
Well, maybe he feels that he's got the tools that he needs, doesn't need to draw any more extra cards. He might just be happy.
It's true.
And then again, those Thrag Tusks and those Restoration Angels might be wanting to combo off instead of looking to draw more cards. He wants to stabilize that life total. But again, as you said, Crater of Behemoth is one of the bigger issues, and we are going to see Supreme Verdict clear some things up here.
Yeah.
Lotleth Troll going to go back to Brandon's side, and he's trying to keep the board tiny, of course, in fear of the Crater of Behemoth.
Yeah.
So now we do see Rick's hand there.
Yeah, I feel like he's playing around everything he has to. I like this decision. He's going to play Angel's Serenity, take the Beast, get back his Prime Speaker, get back a Thrag Tusk.
So you do see Thrag Tusk going over there, and you are also going to see...
he's going to take Sigarda.
Maybe Sigarda? It does have Hexproof, and is a little more of a unique threat.
I'm just going to say this after watching the second Prime Speaker match. I have not been a fan of playing this deck. I like it. I think it's a cool deck for people to play. But if you're going to play the Big Fish Man, how do you not respect the Big Fish Man?
Yeah. Just rast it away.
Yeah.
Rast away his own Big Fish Man. Whatever it takes, as we do see Temple Garden, the draw step here for Brandon to go along with that Lotleth Troll that he got back from Angel's Serenity dying. Don't forget about that Unburial Rights in his graveyard, along with that Vault of the Archangels among his lands as well. So, might look like his hand is bad, but he does have multiple options this turn.
Yeah, and he's probably going to have to cash that in. He wants to keep the pressure on. He knows Rick is in a really good position right now, where he's wrathing away more power on the board and just casting Angel's Serenities on a whim. You know that he's got more ammo behind him. So I think Brendan just has to do things and get a little lucky. He can't let this game continue to progress like this.
So now we do see a Lotleth Troll in Brandon's first main phase. We're also going to see that Unburial Rights in the graveyard get cashed in. It's going to get back a Thrag Tusk. Brandon creating a large board presence yet again with Rick at 3 life.
All right, so now Rick is in the same position he was in the last turn. He's fearing a Crater Hoof off the top, and he does not have the tools that he once did. So we have an Angel on defense, and then we also have a Restoration Angel Thrag Tusk combo. for combat. Potentially 2. We don't have enough mana to go Thragtusk, Resto yet, do we?
We're not quite there yet.
Yeah, we don't have that.
We can call that the critical mass point.
Is that the
When
critical mass?
Yeah, when you can do all of that in one turn.
You can, like, Serenity there, Serenity cast Thragtusk and Restoration Angel.
Yeah. Only mid-range mirrors in Standard. Can we see that?
Bonfireless mid-range mirrors.
Touche. As you do see Rick reaching for that Angel Serenity, considering bringing it across. Again, his hand, you see that Thragtusk that he's pulled to the front. You see 2 Restoration Angels as well. A couple mystery cards hiding back there too. So we'll see how he's going to navigate this turn. Again, sitting at 3 life here. Big decision point in this game. He's done a nice job of coming back in the game. I felt that he was pretty far behind then.
Yeah, I agree. And he is fighting back into this. And to be fair, I have a rule in Magic, is you always get enough sleep. And then the bigger one, though, just so you know, is you cast a Thragtusk when you can.
Okay.
That's just a new rule. Unless you're dead.
Then you can't cast it.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a frowny face.
Or if you cast it when you die, you know. If you have to make a different decision, but you just cast them. I guess other people like different rules. When you have a Sphinx's Revelation, just say go.
Yeah, you know, that can change some things. As you do see, Sphinx Revelation is the other card in Rick's hand.
There's the Obsidian, but it's not going to be good enough against that Sphinx's Revelation.
Now, how do you feel here about, you know, obviously, you know, there's a Thragtusk, he has Sphinx Revelation, he can Revelate for a bunch, or he can play Thragtusk plus Restoration Angel. Which way do you lean as far as, you know, the decision-making process there?
If his decision-making process is he's only going to lose to Craterhoof, just play the Sphinx's Rev and try to find answers to it. Find your other Angel Serenity that's left in the deck, go in and try to dig for another Supreme Verdict, things like that. So I like this line of play. You're not going to win the game with that Thragtusk. You need to keep him attrition this whole game, but I don't know what your end game is without your own card like Craterhoof Behemoth to deal this 53 points of damage.
And that's kind of the concern here, is he is drawing a ton of cards here. Decking might actually be a serious thing, because again, dealing 53 for this deck, not exactly the easiest thing in the world.
If you can just get your opponent attrition for 2 to 3 turns, you can put a lot of power on the board. With Restoration Angels, Angel Serenities, and Thragtusk, they do a lot, especially if you're fueled with all this card advantage.
So now we do see the block here of Angel Serenity on the Thragtusk. Sphinx's Revelation is going to be for 8 here, so it's going to push Rick up to 8, or excuse me, up to 11, and he's going to draw 8 cards. And you saw that Brandon was considering, do I want to activate the Vault, or do I want to leave the mana open to be able to cast Obsidian and get that online? But it looks like he is content with activating Vault of the Archangels. Brandon's going to gain more life. Going to trade the Thragtusk with the Angel Serenity. You're going to see a Beast Token come into play. But 8 new cards and a bunch more life. After damage resolves, Rick will be at the life total that we have on the screen, but you do see all those cards in his hand.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, and Brandon better put that Temple Garden into play, just so next turn he can Vault and Obsidian if he draws a land. All right, so Rick untapping his army of lands. Man, how many worms have we got in Ultimate Garrick this time?
Oh my goodness.
I don't even think we'd have that many, but...
I didn't think we had any to begin with yesterday.
Yeah. With this arsenal, I think all Rick has is Thragtusks and Restoration Angels in hand and all these greater cards, and he is going up to high life total. But again, there's 3 creatures on Brandon's side, so if Craterhoof comes to play, it's 16 plus the power on the board, which is 8 plus 13, so it is 29 trample coming through.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's it if he hoofs. And that should be enough to beat this board position, even if, hopefully we only have that 2 lands, but there should be a Charm or Selesnya Charm to help Rick out in case that's what happens next turn.
So you do see Rick is going to cast 2 Thragtusks. You see him counting up a little bit of damage here. Looks like he's doing a little bit of hoof math.
You got to do it. You have to respect the bacon. You just do. There's a lot of good beasts and boars in Magic right now, if you think about it.
Yeah, we got the Flinthoof boar, we got the Craterhoof Behemoth, we got Thragtusk, always a beast as well.
It's better days than when we were casting Brindleboars and Limited.
That's true.
Yeah.
Don't hate on old Brindley. He's a nice guy. He'll gain you 4 life anytime.
Sacrifice for the good cause.
Don't even need a spear for him, let alone 2.
And every top deck, Rick does have to sweat against this Craterhoof Behemoth that has the ability to come into play. Not going to this turn, he's probably going to attack with that Restoration Angel. You do have to fear the Azura's Charm of brickwalling you. That's what would scare me. But you got to do something. You can't play around too many things. So good thing that Rick doesn't have the Zerish Charm, or Brandon would have been time walked.
No Azorius Charm there, so Restoration Angel does come across, gets in those 3 points of damage, and you do see that Brandon can play Obsidat and have access to Vault of the Archangel. So there's your Obsidat, Ghost Council.
That's going to drain 2 life from Rick, give it to Brandon. And now Brandon is live, and he's going to take that 2 back again because he still is good if he draws Test of Endurance.
Yeah. And, you know, sitting at 63, I think he can afford to take 2, as Obsidat is going to blink out now. So Rick is going to untap again that Army of Lands. He's going to draw a card. And again, as we said a few turns ago, this is the difficult thing for the Prime Speaker's Bant deck, because you could say that he's basically ahead, but again, Junk Reanimator can draw Crater's Behemoth at any point in the game.
Well, I think there is enough Restoration Angels to fill out his entire land base this turn.
Okay.
And that should give him enough defensive elements and life to beat a Crater Hoof, even if that is for 25 trample plus board position. So for anyone at home that always has trouble doing Crater Hoof math, it's very easy. You take the amount of creatures and multiply it by the amount of creatures, and then add the power.
We do see Brandon draw a card. He's looking for that graveyard again. I think that means only one thing.
We're playing another Umbrella Rights.
So in for 3 we go.
We forgot what zone those cards are in. You know, that's a really good play that a lot of players should make. They should just draw their 1 card, look through the graveyard, and then attack.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Well, no. But then, like, everyone puts them on Umbrella Rights.
Yeah.
I mean, it's usually the truth. But
sure. And now we are going to see Restoration Angel. It is going to blink that Obsidat Ghost Council. So instead of maybe getting back a Thragtusk, trying to blink that, Brandon feels that he's at a high enough life total. We're going to see a Restoration Angel of Brandon's own. Going to blink his own Thragtusk. How about another one?
Gain more life. Do we have the triple hat?
So you're going to see another Beast Token come into play. 10 life gain total.
Or is it the hat trick? That's what it is?
It is the hat trick.
Yeah, hat trick.
For all you hockey fans out there. Again, all 7 of you.
He had it, chose not to do it.
It looks like they're probably searching for a Beast Token here. Quick match update on the other side. For you guys at home, the match between Sam Williams and John Cuvier is going to a 3rd game.
I think the more important information is who won the second one.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
that's true.
That play is so important in this format.
Sam Williams was your #1 seed, so he did get to play first in Game 1. But who's going to be on the play for Game 3? Maybe we'll be able to find that out for you guys.
Do you think if you were in Brandon's position and you attacked with a Restoration Angel and your opponent took it, would you have just vaulted there? Because okay, because it does allow you to gain the 3 life. You're not going to block, right? You're going to take a lot of damage. You'd much rather do lifelink damage via damage through an opponent than creature damage. Because I think you take it all. If your opponent attacks with everything, you're like, I guess it's a Supreme Verdict maybe, but I still think you have to just force them to have that second one.
Sure.
So
that makes sense. Because we're going to see a Gavinia Township activation here. So this is one way for Rick to actually start getting a reasonable amount of damage through. Start to make those creatures bigger every single turn. You see a Thragtusk drawn for Rick this turn. And as Rick does take his turn, we did find out from our table spotter in the Cuvier versus Williams match that Sam will be on the play Game 3, a good spot to be in for his Experiment Jund deck.
All right, so I guess he does want to trade resources. We're going to see a Township versus Vault, and I feel like Brandon's getting the better deal out of this one. Sure, the creatures are very big, but he's going to be taking 2 total because he takes 5, but he gets 3 lifelink, and one of the angels dies. So both players feel like they're on the beat down.
Yeah. Hey, you got to get those guys out of the way sometime.
I don't even mind attacking with a bunch of the ground pounders just for the fact that, sure, you could regenerate, but then you couldn't give Death Touch.
So Rick does just pass the turn back. Obsidat's going to come back. It's going to do the drain 2, gain 2. Brandon's going to draw a card. It is an Overrun Tomb. It is still not Crater of Behemoth. I feel like that's because you're here.
What? You should. All right. Next time he draws a card, I'm going to go over to the sideboard, okay?
Okay, perfect.
All right. We're going to see what happens. And I'm going to look the other way.
As we are going to see a Restoration Angel here. That is going to blink a Thragtusk, undo that work by Gavinia Township. But it does get 5 life and a Beast, and that is going to jump in front of that Restoration Angel. Probably going to trade with the Township activation here. As you see Rick looking around for, hey, can I get another Beast Token?
Yeah. They're in short supply today. I'll give him a beast token.
You have a couple?
I have a couple.
Always some inside the old suit coat. As we do see Restoration Angels jump in front of each other. Gavney Township activation. This might force Brandon's hand with a Vault activation to be able to make that trade, and it looks like that's what we're going to see here.
Yeah, I do think that because, I mean, I like the strategy of always townshipping. Continually just putting counters on all of your guys, making them bigger and bigger and bigger. This is going to allow Rick to finally just deal 70 damage. Like, that's the way you get there. Is not nickel and diamond, just building your own Craterhoof Behemoth.
He's going to build his own, 5/5s and 6/6s and be able to get the damage to it. We're going to see Vault of the Archangel. That activation, Restoration Angel does blink that
and
Ghost Council. It's going to get removed, and then we saw the Overrun Tomb come into play untapped.
Just to double regenerate?
Looks to be the case, as we do see a Temple Garden drawn here for Rick. He's amassing an army, does have a ton of lands, does have 2 Gavney Townships down there. You see him starting to do some combat math right now. Doing combat math on his side, also probably doing some hoof math for Brandon's side. See how much damage can I be dealt? Can I beat a Craterhoof Behemoth if it is drawn? How much do I have to pay Brad Nelson to get out of the booth so I can draw a Craterhoof Behemoth? All those things are being calculated.
It's free, buddy. I want. If I can't see it, I want you guys to see it. All right, and it is a tough board position. I think this is just crazy. Like, after being here all night for these players, they battled through 9 rounds of Swiss into a quarterfinals, went to sleep, woke up, and they're looking at this board position. That is just gross.
No one said it'd be easy.
And then after this, they just started all over again because we have another standard opener after this semifinals and finals is over.
Not to mention, I mean, this is game 1 of this match, which is crazy to think of. This feels like a game 3. This is an epic back and forth game 1.
Yeah, it's definitely Prime Speaker Bant from Rick is putting up a bigger fight than I thought it was going to.
Likewise.
I mean, it is rough that both the hoofs. Rick started. Oh yeah, also Rick started on 5 cards this game, if you remember. That is impressive. This is a mull to 5, but after you see how Magic works these days, that card disadvantage is gone quickly. We didn't nickel and dime our way back into this game.
That's true. We cast some haymakers to get back into this game. As we are going to see an attack here with a lot of Rick's animals. You see the Troll going to get in front of that Thragtusk, the bigger of the two, because it does have the counters on it.
And now, I do like the just blocking with this. Like, your only out is to find this Craterhoof. But I would fear if my opponent's like, I'll just send everything. Everything.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary.
You're just like, are you still not dead to a Craterhoof? Or is he just like, no, I got to kill you before you hoof because the board is just getting too scary?
Yeah,
I felt like playing a Tusk every turn and double townshipping would let him survive a Craterhoof Behemoth.
So now we do see that Gavney Township activation. Counters being added to each of the creatures here. Some damage being pushed through. We'll have a life total update for you guys in just a moment to see how much damage did come across. As no creatures are actually going to trade in combat, but a lot of damage will be resolved. Down to 43. Here's a Thragtusk to push Rick up to 20. 25.
The 13th and 14th Thragtusk cast this game.
Yeah, no kidding. So
all right, untap. I'm getting out of the booth.
Brad runs away. I get actual visual evidence that he did run away, as we do have Obsidian come back. Brandon is going to draw a card. It is... I didn't see it yet, I promise. Brad, I've bet it's an Arbor Elf, Brad.
No!
Yeah, it's an Arbor Elf.
Okay, I'm back. Maybe I didn't get too far enough away. Maybe I have to leave the actual hall just to get a Craterhoof out of this deck.
He's asking a lot.
I mean, I really thought I had a good relationship with Craterhoof for a long time.
Maybe it's just the Thunderbolt stage. Maybe you guys are friends. Excuse me, Craterhoof, you guys maybe.
And you just and because I play so many Craterhoofs.
Did you guys break up on Facebook or what happened?
I broke up a Trading Post.
Oh,
Trading Post might have started dating Craterhoof.
The Trading Post relationship seemed very one-sided.
You
really wanted it to work.
I did.
The Trading Post just had no interest in you.
Did not care. Just cold.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Most artifacts are.
Yeah, I know.
So we do see Obsidian is going to blink out here. Brandon desperately trying to draw a Craterhoof Behemoth, unable to do so as Rick is going to untap. He's going to draw, and we're probably going to see another all-out attack here again.
For how much I've seen Thragtusk mid-range mirrors, I've never seen a player have all 4 in play.
Yeah, that's actually never happened before to me either. Yeah. As he does draw Cavernous Souls, now you just see a handful of lands. Cavernous Souls, Temple Garden, Hollow Fountain for Rick.
We finally ran out of spells to cast.
Somehow we are out of spells.
And Ren's like, I haven't had any for a while.
So it might be about that time to send in all of the idiots, and I think that's what we're going to see, Brad. Again, he needs to get this game over before Brandon does draw a Crater Behemoth. He is sitting at a high enough life total. He has 2 Gathering Township activations.
Yeah.
Bring it on, he says.
All
So
right.
you're going to see Brandon start to make some blocks here. You would think that 45, I mean, we were just at 70-something last turn. Now we're down to 45 and facing what is likely to be a lethal attack.
Well, the townships alone add 16 power to the board.
Yeah.
Including all those dice. There's too many to really figure out what's going on. But without any dice that are already on the board, it's 32 plus the 16. So, yeah, that's 48 without whatever dice are already added on the board, which add about 5. So we're looking at about, like, I'd say about 50 to 60 damage. Somewhere in between there. I don't think I would block with everything, though. I'd make sure that a hoof, like, you have to make sure hoof still lets you win.
Yeah. I mean, so long as he can actually have a block that makes it so that if he does hop deck Crater Behemoth, he can win. Not sure if that's the case or not, because again, these guys are attacking for so much damage.
And I would have left all of the Thragtusk personally alive. I would not want any of them to die. Like, I understand that some of them are 10 powered, but I would find some way in combat just to make sure that they don't have any beast tokens back. This is actually an interesting board. I would just want to geek out on it and, like, figure out the board, like, the actual, like, what I need to block, how I need to survive. Because you do have perfect information almost right now.
Yeah.
Your opponent just kind of, like, draws a card, looks at the board, and then sends everything.
Yeah. Sends everything, lines up his 2 Gathering Township activations, and that's going to be my action for this turn. So you are going to see a bunch of creatures trade off in combat. A lot of Latrell will get regenerated, it looks like. But a lot of things are going to bite the dust. And after everything is settled here, we'll get a life total update yet again.
We also, one of those Thragtusk, did he block 2 Thragtusk, I thought?
I believe he chump blocked one and then dealt lethal damage to another one.
All right.
Looks like we are clear on combat.
And we're still at 26, so we should have took more damage.
Yeah, that's possible.
I don't think Crater Hoof is lethal now.
Draws a card. Searches the graveyard. Perhaps some more Thragtusk need to come back to the party.
We have 2 more Tusks hitting the board. All right. For anyone at home that has a very good memory, how many Thragtusk hit the board this game?
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know how many Thragtusk. Tweet that at me at FFFreakMTG. I want to know the actual number because I think it's getting close to 20.
We're seriously getting to that point. Between, like, are we counting like blinked flash?
Yes.
Thragtusk as well. Okay.
As many times Thragtusk has entered this game.
As we do see Unburial Rites bring back another Thragtusk here. Brandon going to move up to 33.
He's just like doing the math. I mean, I definitely think I would just bring back a Restoration Angel here. I think he wants the vault, but
yeah, you know, he's considering the ramifications.
No, he just wants the vault.
Yeah, of either having a Vault of the Archangel activation for maybe, or you know, Restoration Angel getting 5 life, putting a beast token into play, adding a little bit more bodies in the way here, so the Crater would be lethal. Well, you're just going to see him leave up his Vault of the Archangel activation. Rick is going to untap all of his guys, all of his beasts. You see he's going to draw a card. Supreme Verdict, one of the more awkward draws out there right now.
I could think of a handful of cards I'd want. Selesnya Charm is one of them.
Maybe a Sphinx's Revelation.
Sphinx's Prime Speaker's gone. No, I don't think you want Prime Speaker. That might just kill you.
Yeah, don't know how many cards he has left in his deck. Doesn't seem like very many.
And he's got like a 10-10 in play.
And you see 2 Gaffney Township activations here. And dice are going to tick on up. Plus 2 counters to each one of these guys. You're going to see a Vault activation from Brandon, plus regeneration on a Lawless Troll. And after the dust settles, we'll see exactly how combat damage is done. We might see a lethal attack here. As you can kind of tell, both players aren't entirely sure how much each one's attacking for, if it's lethal, if it's not.
There's 7 life gained, putting Brandon back up to 40, and I don't think those 4 creatures dealing damage are 10 apiece.
Sure feels close.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, there's like 5 dice on a 3/3 and like 5 on a 5/5. Yeah, I think we survived.
And after the dust settles, it actually still feels like Crater Hoof is a lethal draw.
I'm staying here, buddy. We can do this together, Brandon Ross. We can do it together. Channel the hoof. We both want it.
Godless Shrine.
And we're dead.
You are bad luck.
I'm terrible.
It's you. It can't be anything else. As we're going to see on Barrel Rights here on a Thragtusk.
He has went through a lot of cards to not hit a Grizzly Salvage or Mulch.
Really has, yeah.
He's hit one Grizzly Salvage's game.
And every draw step is a huge sweat just hoping to draw the card beam. With Brand's going up to 19. Does have chump blockers yet again.
I mean, will he just like survive this board? He's whittling it down again.
He is whittling it down.
And I don't think we can drop Prime Speaker. We might deck.
Draws for the turn. That is a Think Twice.
We have Think Twice too?
He has one copy in his deck.
All right, let's think once.
Let's see what this turns into. A good clean slow roll there. That's a Lockstone Smiter.
All right, we've got, how many Smiters does he have?
4. Can't believe
that's our first one?
Can't believe you drawn one yet this game. Yeah.
No, we only drew our 12 copies of Thragtusk.
Yeah. So in come the Beast tokens and the Thragtusk.
Why would we not think twice?
Yeah, I may have thought
I
again.
guess, no,
I don't think it really changes.
Twice.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much that changes anything.
He wants to definitely Township twice and cast the Smiter. Why wouldn't he cast Smiter first? All these questions
that might be an oversight there.
Yeah.
Because with the trample damage from Credit and all that stuff, maybe that +2 toughness
Smiter's
matters.
just in his hand, just being like, I thought I was part of the group.
Yeah,
like,
I want to go to Gaffney's Township.
Yeah, why didn't you guys let me come with you? Sorry, car was full.
Yep.
All right, both Thragtusk die again. Board is just whittling away.
We're going to see some Beast tokens come back.
This counts as more Beast. If he takes one out on accident and takes it away and has to put it back in play, that counts.
Yep.
It's another one coming to play.
There's your Township activations.
They're getting better at combat. Like it's going quicker.
It's true.
All right, time's call. This is turn 1 of turns. Yeah. 40 minutes into game 1 of the semifinals.
So now there's a Beast token. I think we're going to see another Beast. Okay, so actually our Beast tokens are correct. Quick update for you guys in our other match. John Cuvier is going to the finals. He's going to try to defend that crown yet again. Defeats Sam Williams playing Experiment John. They had time to get 3 games in. We're still in game 1 here.
This is a great place for John. He's going to get a good 30-40 minute rest before the finals, where both these players are going to exhaust themselves.
And Bradley.
You
got excited for a green card.
Oh, you can't do. Why'd you do that?
I did.
You knew I wasn't looking.
I did know that he drew an absence program. I'm a bad guy.
You're a very bad guy.
I'm a bad guy. I am.
Oh, guys, you should have seen me. I jumped out of my chair.
Yeah. And we see another Lockstone Smiter drawn.
Bradley, Rick is gonna win.
Rick looks like he might be able to take it down. Multiple turns there, Recursive Behemoth would have been the perfect draw step, but you do see Rick is just going to keep sending on in. You're going to see that freshly drawn Absence Pilgrim get in front of some stuff here. Lala Troll, double Gaffney Township activation. You can see Evolve activation. Same song and dance we've been playing the past couple of turns, trying to push through damage, trying to get some things off of the board. And after the dust does settle, doesn't look like it's going to be lethal just yet. He's getting close, and oddly enough, it's funny that Rick does have 2 Gaffney Townships, but somehow 2 Gaffney Townships less than sign Vault of the Archangels.
Yeah, I mean it is interesting, and that's one of the things you see is Junkus actually knows that it can go over the top with Craterhoof, Behemoth, and Ancient Serenity. Why it's playing Vault over the Townships. There's not a lot of control decks that Township is good against anymore. It's surprising that a deck like Junk doesn't need the Township power in the metagame. It's not powerful enough for what most decks are doing. And I still think we have a lethal Craterhoof.
How about a Centaur Healer?
That isn't it. Brandon, you are not good at your job. Your job is to draw big, crazy monsters.
It's funny because, we saw that Rick was super far behind this game. Then he took it over with Prime Speaker and Sphinx Revelation. Then he got super far ahead. But where did his guys go? His army is basically depleted.
Oh, yeah. I mean, regenerating Death Touch Lifelinker.
Yeah, his army is basically depleted. The attacks aren't dealing a ton of damage. We look up at Brandon's life total. He's at 20. Rick is at 15. And again, Craterhoof Behemoth, if he draws it, is basically lethal. And at some point...
And he still has Angel Serenities left in his deck.
Yeah.
He still has a couple Embarrass Rights, multiple Grizzly Salvages to start chains. Brandon's deck is still very plump with action. He has drawn really... nothing valuable for this whole game, and Rick's deck is almost attrition.
Yeah.
Not his hand, his deck.
His deck is almost out of action.
Yeah. I think he has 1 Angel Serenity left. We did see a Selesnya Charm there to go with an Azura's Charm, so potentially if he can make some moves. He can like charm one guy, like trample the other, and maybe take this game down.
Yeah, so now you're going to see another attack. You're going to see the same song and dance. You're going to see that regeneration of Outlaw Troll. You're going to see that activation of Vault of the Archangels.
This charm is very powerful, though. It's going to stop that Lotleth Troll. And then with that, he still isn't even close to dealing lethal. Did he put the tokens on everything? He did Township a bunch, but I don't think he has any counters on anything.
Yeah, we're going to see the dice. The dice are being placed on the guys right there. 2 counters on each one of the creatures. And you're going to see the Vault, of course, trade. The Centaur Healer and the Vault will trade.
Yep. And now we have a charm to deal with that Obsidian.
Obsidian will come back. You'll see a gain 2, drain 2. We'll get our life totals updated for you guys momentarily. Yep. Brandon will draw that Lotleth Troll. And Brandon does ask Rick, are you up for 3 games of this? And it sounds like Brandon's up to the challenge.
Well, Rick, no, because he knows it gets much better for Rick after sideboard.
That's true.
It gets a lot better for
Our sideboard games are going to be wildly different.
Yes.
And here comes Obsidian. Sledging Charm is going to take care of that.
And Archie, Rick's like, yeah, I'm up for the challenge. Get that out of here.
And now we're going to see that Lotleth Troll come back here.
And now he draws the hoof that doesn't kill him.
But Lotleth Troll does, I mean, as you said, Death Touch plus Regeneration. This actually just holds down the fort again.
And Lifelink.
And Lifelink, because Brandon is at 19. So now it's Lotleth Troll and that Vault of the Archangel standing tall.
Both players down to reasonable life totals.
Yeah, somehow, as Rick does draw a Farseek.
Not good. Definitely just out of options. He's just like, he can't really attack into this board. I think this is finally going to be the first time we see no comeback come from Rick in a very long time.
Yeah, I think this is where you just see him pass the turn back and just start to double Gavin Township as Brandon's going to draw a card. Brandon draws Crater.
He draws it! Finally! One time has been successful. Whew. Oh, he's...
Crater Behemoth is here.
Sorry.
It is here.
It's not doing anything.
And it is not doing a literal thing. Nothing at all. As you do see Brandon taking a look at Rick's graveyard. Looking to see all the cards that he's gone through. Again, because both players do have access to each other's deck list, so Brandon can kind of deduce what's left in Rick's deck, which is, again, not very much.
No.
He does have a copy. He does have another copy of Sphinx Revelation, does have another Prime Speaker Sagana, but the big question is what cards does he have to draw to? He's already used both those Angel Strandings this game.
Oh yeah, he only does have 2.
Yeah, he only does have 2.
And we have a couple left in Brandon's deck.
And then you know that he has another Detention Sphere and he has a Supreme Verdict that he's holding on to, but his draws are a lot worse than Brandon's right now. He just doesn't have a lot of action. As you said, he's attritioned basically his entire deck.
Well, yeah, Brandon played this game very well, in my opinion. He stayed defensive. He beat the onslaught. And at this point, like, when you deal with 12 Three Tusks and you still have all of your powerful spells left in your deck, you deserve to win this game.
And somehow still at 19 life, he doesn't even play the credit for him. He just passes the turn back, which I really can't disagree with. There's really no reason to cast it.
No, I mean, does he have any Lingering Souls still left in his deck?
Well, taking a look here, he does have 3 copies of Lingering Souls. I believe he's only cast 1, so...
But what is left in his deck? It's just Grizzly Salvages and Bombs.
Yeah, you know, he's got Imperial Rights left in there. He's got a...
And he's counting his opponent's library, and he's like, I still have 30 cards left, and they're all good.
Yeah. A lot of good draw steps left here for Brandon Ross. As Rick is going to untap, he's going to draw a card. Passes it back to Brandon, realizes he can't attack. Second Creative House Behemoth. They show up back to back. That's how they work.
They just have the buddy system.
Yeah, that's how they work.
Do not cross the road without your buddy.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta hold hands. And he does just pass the turn back. I think those are the 2 worst draws in his deck right now. But Brandon does just pass the turn back. Rick does just pass the turn back. So let's see what Brandon can draw. Brandon finds a Thragtusk.
All right, that's a good start.
That's a lot better. That's like, a better beast.
Yep.
And so now we will see Thragtusk come in here. Still does have enough mana to represent Vault of the Archangels plus Regeneration on that Lotleth Troll. Gonna gain 5 life, push himself up to 24. And does just pass the turn back. So right now, every creature that he does draws, you know, will be able to keep brick walling Rick while adding to the Crater of Behemoth count.
Yeah, now, one thing that I'm curious about, we only have 2 townships. Okay, I was curious if Rick should have been playing more land drops.
Sure.
Just in case he hits a 3rd township and wants to play a spell and activate both of them. Alright, I think this is a fair time. Alright, so we have an Arbor Elf.
Yeah. Even a card like Arbor Elf, as innocuous as that seems,
Well,
again, it does just hold the fort. It does add to the Creator of Behemoth count.
well, I mean, they're both so big. Like, these creatures are too big. Like, if you hoof your opponent, their creatures are bigger than yours.
They are large. I can't argue that, but they can't block multiple guys.
They can't block multiple guys, no. And so next turn, if Rick doesn't draw an actual creature, and that's a Supreme Verdict, can draw some cards, but what is left in his deck? And he has to figure out how many cards he can draw to how many turns he has left.
You see him counting his deck there. There's definitely less than 10 cards there.
So if you draw 3, you have 4 turns. If you draw 4, you have 3 turns. This is really difficult math, especially when your opponent is at 24 life and you still can't attack through, and you're in big fear of a Crater Hoof.
And I think you see Rick basically coming to the same conclusion that we are here in the booth, and you guys probably are at home. Now, that Sphinx's Revelation, as good as that card is with how much mana he has, he doesn't have very many cards left in his deck, let alone very many cards that actually impact the game. So that's actually a dead draw in disguise, as you do see Brandon draws a Deathrite Shaman for the turn. Again, he has so much action left in his deck, not very many lands, and all of these cards contribute to the Vault of the Archangels being able to block, not let Rick any damage through, and the Creator of Behemoths turning into a lethal attacker.
Now, what does he draw here? Does he just go for 6 and just get the whole... Or he townships, and how many did he Sphinx for? 4 cards. He says, I need 2 turns to finish this game. A trampling creature would be very good right now. He's got that Selesnya Charm.
You see, he just has a couple cards left in his deck. You see Loxodon Smiters that he's drawn. He's finally drawn those. You see Prime Speaker Zagana with a card normally very good. Can't actually even cast it now. Selesnya Charmer card that he's pulled forward here. You see that Loxodon Smiter, 12 +1/+1 counters, making that a 16/16. So it could become an 18/18 Trampler.
Yeah, I mean, that is very powerful. But with 24 life and the ability to put a bunch of things in, and all right, so he's just gonna dump both Smiters and probably just do double activation township. Is he digging for any one of that we're trying to figure out? Is that what's going on? Is there a card that we're missing? It could be a Detention Sphere. He still has one of those left,
He does still have one of those left,
and
yes,
that's a good card right in this board position.
And now we're going to see a Mulch.
Now, if we find an Angel and an Umbera Rights, that is the... All right, we found one
Angel
more.
Serenity. No Umbera Rights. Deathrite Shaman and Gavany Township. So the Angel Serenity and the Deathrite Shaman will go to the graveyard. You'll see the Overgrown Tomb and the Gavany Township go to Brandon Ross's hand. They'll play the Township for the turn.
I think I play a No, we don't play Defense Hoof because we need that Vault active. Well, I think we have enough mana. Do we have enough mana to play it and regenerate? I think we do. I would just play one of those, or unless he's trying to double... Oh my god, is he trying to double Crater Hoof?
I mean, we could get to that point. I think right now I think he's more concerned with just making sure that he's able to...
Vault.
To just have Vault available, but also just considering I just need to not die. My opponent has 2 cards left in his deck. You see Restoration Angel is the draw here for Rick.
All right, so as those dice are represented, they're in between the 2 creatures with that many counters on them. So the 2 Smiters have 2 counters, and the Smiter and the Beast have 14 on them.
Just 14.
Just 14. I feel like we're about to play Yahtzee. There's just so many dice on the table.
I was never good at that game. If we do see an attack here with all the guys, finally time to move in, and Selesnya Charm could play a role here.
Selesnya Charm is going to play a very big role in this game. He's going to block everything, and he does need to have more than 1 trample effect here. As big as these creatures are, they do die to any death touch, and that's what Vault does. So I feel like we're going to need more than just that. If he can deal some trample, but he's going to gain life. No, this attack is just not good enough. Rick knows that he's in trouble. He needed to make some move, make something happen. And it's just not going to be enough. I am sad that this game isn't going to end in double hoofing. Again, so close to seeing a hoof
close. Always close. We're going to see a double Township activation. These guys are going to move up. You're going to see a Selesnya Charm give the +2/+2 and trample that Loxodon Smiter. With Latroll only having 1 toughness, of course, it can be bolstered. There are 2 Creator of Behemoths to discard.
As you see Brandon lean up, he's like, am I dead?
You are going to see Restoration Angel here on that Beast token.
Oh, he's going to blink it to mitigate the life.
Yeah, maybe mitigate the lifelink from that Vault to the Archangels. A smart play there is you're going to see Vault activate here. You're going to see a Township activation. We'll see these guys all get a little bit bigger. He can also regenerate. Also does have access to a Deathrite Shaman activation. Keep that in mind as well to gain 2 life if he needs to.
I have just never seen a Junk Reanimator player have to work so hard for a win.
Me either.
So
Me
hard.
either. Normally the opponent's the one that's working
Yeah.
hard for the win.
Beat Rick 60. He's like, I hope your 15's good because I got your 60 covered.
Yeah. And so now after the dust does settle, we'll see how much trample damage does come across here. We'll see a life update. Just a moment here. As you do see the Township activation giving all the guys +1/+1. You see the Vault of the Archangel activation giving all the guys Death Touch and Lifelink. The big question here is, does that Smiter with trample and all those counters and +2/+2 for the Celestial Charm, does it get it done?
This is going to drop Brandon to single digits for the first time ever in the entire game.
Now you do see the damage resolve here.
It might not even be single digits, to be honest. I think
down
it's
to 9.
It is. We did it. We got our opponent to half-life. Congratulations. Let's try to do that again next game.
And so now Brandon's going to untap. He's going to draw. Brad, the coast might be clear.
Oh, can we hoof him finally?
For a Creator Behemoth,
Can we hoof
Brandon
him?
will draw a card. He draws
He's
a
tapped
Grizzly
out?
Salvage.
How much is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're only 2. I think we're a mana short. We're a mana short of double hoofing. Count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, no, we're like 2 short. Shucks.
Brad with a frowny face. But I think Brandon might be pretty pleased as he's going to tap 8 mana. And we are going to see Creator Behemoth, and we are going to see Rick Meditz concede the
The
game.
most anticlimactic hoof of all
A
time.
marathon game 1, but Brandon Ross with Junk Reanimator does win. And we are just getting started here.
So, we, like we promised you earlier, we do give away 6 months of premiums in this match.
Yes, we do.
That was, an hour ago that we talked to you about
Yeah,
this?
yeah,
We told you
we-
about an hour ago that we'd be doing this.
And that deal is still on the table.
It
We're
is.
going to cut back to the booth here, and it is premium giveaway time. Welcome back, Cedric Phillips. Brandon, excuse me, I will call you Brandon Nelson.
Don't touch me.
I'm
Don't
so
touch me.
sorry. Brad Nelson. Brandon, we love you at home, Waster.
Can we get
do.
a professional in here?
I'm sorry. Oh, my God. Makeup.
It's early.
It is premium giveaway time. 6 months we're going to give away for you guys. Very simple game that we play here at SCG Live. Going to ask you a question. You're going to hashtag the answer with SCG Premium. We are going to pick one of the people who do get it correct. Again, it is about accuracy, not speed.
It is. And I had the question first, so Bowtie Guy, Mr. Ricardo.
Bowtie Guy.
Excuse me, sorry.
Bow tie guy. I don't see any bow tie here, buddy.
No, you have the question this time around.
I do have the question, and that question is, within Brandon Ross's main deck, he does have one removal spell in his main deck. One spot removal spell he can use to destroy a little something. That's it's an uncounterable one. That's the best hint I'll be able to give you.
It's uncounterable.
And if you're able to name that uncounterable removal spell in his deck, just only one in his main deck, we'll give you 6 months of premium. Again, Brandon Ross's Junk Reanimator deck list, he does have one removal spell in his main deck.
Like last night, are you going to make any other conditions, like all capital or exclaimed or anything?
No, that's your gig. I don't want to steal your show.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
No exclamation points, no hashtags, none of that good stuff. Just cut, easy, clean, just like the card. If you can name the uncounter removal spell in Brandon Ross's deck, you hashtag that SCG Premium. We'll pick one winner. Again, it's about accuracy, not speed. And we will announce that after this match is over, which is probably, by my count, 2-3 hours from now.
Yeah, I'd say about 1 p.m. Get some lunch in.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get that away. And then if we're lucky, John will still want to play the finals of the tournament.
Yeah,
All that good stuff,
and they'll jump into the tournament at
round 4. Yeah, right around round 4. So we'll cut back to the match for you guys really quickly. Both players are going to be sideboarding and probably shuffling a whole bunch as well. Sideboards will bring up on the screen for you guys. Brandon Ross, taking a look at his sideboard, we've got Deathrite Shaman, a Cavernous Souls, a Brave Revelation, another Obsidian, 2 Abrupt Decays, 2 Liliana the Veils, 2 Centaur Healers, 2 Rocks Faith Menders, and 3 Acidic Slimes. I think it starts with that second Obsidian. I think that's the easy one. I'm not
I'm
sure.
actually not a fan of Obsidian in this matchup. Both
Really?
decks are very powerful mid-range strategies.
Yeah?
You can't attack with it at all. And the life, look at what happened in that game. That 2 life every turn didn't actually do much. That's all it did, is just drain for 2. the entire game, and it wasn't that big of an effect.
I think that, you know, with the haymakers that were traded back and forth, it didn't seem like it was that big an effect. But when you're playing against someone who does have cards like Rest in Peace in their sideboard, or just, you know, Graveyard Hate. There's not Rest in Peace here, but I mean, you have Tormod scripts. He does have Graveyard Hate. You'd have to play a more traditional straight up game, and Obsidian really is good in those games. So that's why I like having one of those there.
Okay.
You know, that Drain 2, Gain 2 didn't seem like it did very much, but it certainly wasn't irrelevant either.
I mean, not many things did much in that game. Hell, Craterhoof Behemoth didn't do much in that game.
Yeah. So we're really asking a lot from our cards here. Other things that are impressive here. I mean, Acidic Slime is certainly reasonable. You can really start to blow up the lands, make it so that, you know, Rick can't cast a large Sphinx Revelation.
I'm a big fan of Acidic Slime in this matchup. I think that's one of the crippling cards, along with Liliana. Now, Rick is on the play, so Brandon is on the draw. I don't think Liliana's as good there, but on the play, I think Liliana is a wonderful card in this matchup.
Liliana also a little bit dangerous because we do know that Rick has 4 copies of Loxodon Smiter, so
that's
something
fine.
to keep in mind.
Well, we kill an Absence Pilgrim first, then we can play defensive if he does have that Smiter.
All right, fair enough. As for Rick's sideboard?
Rick's sideboard has 3 Torment Script. Those are not Rest in Pieces. That's going to make things a little awkward. Junk is going to be able to kind of attrition out of those Torment Scripts instead of just being colded by a Rest in Peace. We do have a couple Garriks that are very good in this matchup. Prime Speaker Band is the best Garrick deck since it has the most consistent turn 3 copy of that, and that is very good against Junk because you can just draw into half of your deck and start your chain really quick. And those are the cards that I think are going to be coming in. And then the cards like Azura's Charm and Supreme Verdict are what I think are weakest in this matchup.
So we do see both players, they actually did shuffle very quickly, as they do want to get this match over with. One of these players wants to move on the finals. The other one does probably want to join our other standard open.
They do, but neither of them have the early aggressive spells that both decks really want, and no Farseek from Mick either.
So Rick does just have a couple dual lands he passes the turn back, and we will see a mulch here from Brandon off of a forest and a woodland cemetery. He will turn over Acidic Slime, Restoration Angel, Thragtusk, and Temple Garden that will go to the hand.
So 3 really good threats, none that he really wants in the graveyard. Those are the kind that you want to draw, but he does have that Unbearer Rights to start any Acidic Slime chains once the game gets going. He was not able to get 2 lands off that to discard that Unbearer Rights to have a turn 4 play, but Grizzly Selvage is trying to dig even deeper.
And we will see a Woodland Cemetery, an Overgrown Tomb, a second Woodland Cemetery, a second Overgrown Tomb, and an Abrupt Decay.
And one of those 5 cards was our clue. It was. So if you named Woodland Cemetery, you might have gotten it correct.
Maybe have. As we do see Brandon display Temple Guardian, does pass a turn back. Rick is going to play a Sun Petal Grove. Now I just passed that turn back.
I feel Rick is a little burnt from his mold of 5 from this game. I know that was an hour ago, but I do think that this is just too slow of a draw to have against Junk.
Yeah, and I feel like this is really playing into Junk's hands here, as we're going to see another Grizzly Salvage, Obsidian. We see an Absence Pilgrim, a Angel Serenity, a Rave Revelation, and a Burial Rites.
Did he not check his sideboard because he's that Rave? I mean, there are Detention Spheres, but that is it. I mean, he brought in a Rave Revelation, but I think just being burnt out, he forgot that his opponent didn't have Rest in Peace.
It is certainly possible. I mean, the things that he does have destroyed with that Rave Revelation, again, are 2 Detention Spheres and an Oblivion Ring in the sideboard. That's it. So maybe...
I mean, I guess that's good enough to bring in a card that you just mill over. That's, like, sitting there pretty nicely.
Might be able to blow him out mid-combat, something like that. I mean, he did get that Lotleth Troll back last game, and that played a huge role in that game, being able to block and regenerate every turn, so...
Interesting enough, Rick is boarding in the Feeling of Dreads. I feel like that could be like a fogged Craterhoof, but that's not what I want to try to do in this matchup.
Also a way to push through damage, as we saw last game when we got in that cluttered board stage. You're going to see a Thragtusk here from Rick. You know, if he had a card like Feeling of Dread to actually push through damage on one of those crucial turns when all of his guys had a million counters on them, he actually was able to win. So
it's one of the reasons that I don't like that they took away the one of Cyclonic Rift out of the Prime Speaker decks. You draw so many cards, you get so far ahead, but look at Brandon whittled them back down, whereas the Cyclonic Rift would have easily just been the game over.
So now we'll see Brandon. He is going to play Gavany Township, and we are going to see an Burial Rites, and that is going to be on Angel Serenity. So Angel Serenity is going to come to play very early this game.
He just wants to get a bunch of value before he put a bunch of creatures in his graveyard, wants to protect himself against the top deck Tormod's Crypt. He wants to just start the mid-range chain.
So you see him return and put underneath that Angel Serenity a Thraktusk and a Acidic Slime and a Restoration Angel, basically acting as a draw 3 and daring Rick to take that Angel Serenity off of the table. Kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
No, he had Barrow Rights. Why would you not play the Arbor Elf?
That's a good question. As we do see a second Thraktusk here from Rick, and he does just pass the turn back.
It was in the front of his hand. I mean, he knew it was there.
Hey, sometimes those marathon affairs can affect your play.
That's
Minor
true.
mistakes can occur, as we are going to see Brandon come across here 4-5, going to knock Rick down to 25. We'll see a Sun Petal Grove, and now we're going to see 5 mana tapped, and we're going to see an Acidic Slime.
I actually feel that that was intent on it. Like, he meant to do that. I think he was thinking maybe that was a Wrath turn for Rick. And then since he didn't get Wrath, he's open to play more things.
The Acidic Slime does take care of that Hollow Fountain, so now Rick without blue mana. So Prime Speaker Zagana, we're far away from you, my friend. As we are going to see a Feeling of Dread tap down these 2 blockers.
Wow. Wow, I love it. That's so cool.
In for 10 we go. Going to knock Brandon down to 10. You're going to see a Hinterland Harbor. He thought about playing it, but he wants to slow roll it. Doesn't want Rick to know that he has that for the Feeling of Dread flashback.
Yeah.
So now we're going to see Brandon untap. He's going to draw. Avacyn's Pilgrim is the draw step for the turn.
He doesn't have much life, but what he does have is 4 Lingering Souls, and that does beat Feeling of Dread.
Yeah, that will blow up that plan very quickly. You do see Brandon, now that he does see Feeling of Dread is in Rick's deck, now he's slowed down a little bit.
Just like, huh.
Yeah. I would prefer not to lose to that effect this game.
Yeah. I feel like we can beat through that.
Yeah, as you see, Brandon's draw this game is very good. You know, has his Angel Serenity online already. Acidic Slime already blew up a land. Has a ton of cards in his hand. Just thinking to himself, all right, if it's Feeling of Dread that you're going to try to beat me with, I have access to your sideboard. I know that you have 2 of those in there, and I just don't want to lose to that.
So, I mean, it still feels really bad to not attack with that Angel. Like, these games go, like, very long. He did hide a lot of cards underneath that Thraktusk, so his Umbrella Rights in hand is a little bit awkward since he's hidden all of his, pretty good effects. But I do feel like Lingering plus Flash might just be the play this turn, just to protect himself from that Feeling of Dread. It also protects him from Selesnya Charm.
You are going to see an Avacyn's Pilgrim join, and it looks like we're going to see a Lingering Souls as well. And there's your flashback. So he's going to put 5 blockers into play, 7 total. So
and Brandon's like, you know what? I'll be on the township plan this game. Even though I saw it didn't work for you.
So we're going to see a Restoration Angel at the end of Brandon's turn. Rick is going to gain 5 life, push himself to 25, put a Beast Token into play, and add 6 power to his board, all in the end step. Rick does draw a card. He draws a Breeding Pool, so blue mana is back online for him. Also does have that Hinterland Harbor in his hand. And we'll see what kind of attacks he wants to make.
Because of playing Feeling of Dread and Supreme Verdict, I feel like those 2 cards are for different matchups. He's like pigeonholed himself into not having many lines. He has to either attack or Wrath or try to Feeling of Dread his opponent, but there's not much he can do right now. He's just stuck. That's going to allow Brandon Ross to take over this game. Since he is making all of his land drops, he does have extra value in his Angel Serenity and a fistful of actual relevant spells. Another reason why I think like a mulligan would have been nice, but we do see a bunch of blocks. Is he gonna? You do not take damage in this match. You keep blocking, buddy. There we go.
He takes your advice. Acidic Slime gets in front of that Beast Token. We're gonna see a Gavany Township activation. Rick again trying to make his creatures bigger and push through damage. We saw this last game. Death Touch takes care of the Beast Token. You're gonna see a bunch of Spirits die. You're gonna see some guys get bigger. As you do see our white dice come onto those creatures, and that will be Rick's turn.
Yeah. Breeding Pool comes to play tap. Brandon untaps. Do we see? I mean, there's another Lethal Hoof.
Not quite yet.
I will take an Angel Serenity. That's fine.
That's not so bad. And he does have the mana to cast it because of those mana accelerants up there. Does have enough white mana to be able to cast this Angel Serenity. It can take down 2 Thraktusk and a Restoration Angel. It would leave Rick with 2 Beast Tokens, however, so just something to consider. Even though they will not be lethal, we'll still leave him with some stuff.
Yeah, and that Rick would not be heartbroken about that play. That'll get 2 Angel Serenities into the graveyard and put 3 creatures back into his hand.
So here is Angel Serenity number 2 here from Brandon. You see the power of both this card and of this deck. He's deciding what he does want to target with this. You see him, he's going to take down a Restoration Angel. Looks like he's going to maybe target some things in his graveyard as well,
No,
but he's
both
just going to
Thragtusks.
opt to take out both those Thragtusks. Beast tokens will come into play here, and we're going to see an attack in the sky, maybe, from this other Angel Serenity.
Yeah, I mean, doing the math, you can leave that Spirit token back and be a little bit more protected from Feeling of Dread. Okay, just tag him with one damage. But knowing all the spells that are in Rick's deck, there's no way for him to deal lethal even if he attacks with 2 of his guys. Feeling of Dread plus Township isn't lethal. Detention Sphere is a very good answer for those Angel strategies, but Brandon does have an Abrupt Decay in hand, so that could get a little dirty.
Yeah, we could get a little awkward here really fast. As you see, Detention Sphere, a pretty good draw in the abstract, but then once you realize that Brandon does have an Abrupt Decay and how this could really backfire, and of course Brandon does have an Angel Serenity in play with 3 cards of his own underneath
it's a tasty decision since he does have a Hinterland Harbor in hand that would allow him to go Detention Sphere into Thragtusk.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think that's what we're gonna see here. It kind of makes me happy.
And you see that Brandon is taking you see Rick taking a look at the cards underneath Brandon's first Angel Serenity, saying, okay, what do you got down here? Do I care about these guys coming back? That Restoration Angel, that Thragtusk, that Acidic Slime? I think he does. You see him thumbing through his hand right now. You see that Supreme Verdict over there. You see that Detention Sphere in his hand. You see the Cavern of Soul. Oh, you see the Hinterland Harbor, excuse me, there as well. And he's really just taking a look at all of the game zones right now to figure out what line of play he wants to make.
Yeah, no, it's tough because on one side, an Angel Serenity gives you back 3 cards, but on the other one gives Brandon 3 spells too. And it gives him the Acidic Slime that kills the Detention Sphere. So yeah, we can't make that line. Yeah, we just have to Wrath.
We see a lot of different chain reactions here, but Supreme Verdict is the choice here for Rick. That's going to clear this board up quite a bit. You're going to see a lot of cards get exchanged back and forth here from the Angel Serenities. We're going to have a board state cleared up here. We're going to see an untap here from the...
We're going to float, so we have 1 green. All right, both players refuel.
And that Spirit token, you got to go too, my friend.
No, he's already dead. It's okay. All right, so this is going to allow Rick to play a Restoration Angel, but no value with those 2 Thragtusks in hand. But because he's only at 8 lands, he's just going to have to play it. This gives Brandon a clear board and another opportunity to start Acidic Slime in, and that's one of the big things in this matchup is just on these free turns, just killing off more lands. Get those utility lands, maybe take them off of his blue mana sources. He has 3 sources at this moment, but you can continue to whittle away at those. Take the Township if that's what you're afraid of.
The other thing that he can do right now, as well as you see him kind of looking through his hand, looking through his graveyard, he can also, on an open board here, as we're going to see
get
on Unburial Rights. Yeah, he can play Obstinate on an open board here as well, but he is going to Unburial Rights, and he's going to bring back Angel Serenity. He is going to target some things here. Again, kind of playing around that Tormod script that we spoke about earlier.
Yeah, he's trying to play around that, but one thing that I'm a big fan of is not getting one of your Angel Serenities stuck underneath an Angel Serenity.
Sure.
I like, especially if I have access to Unburial Rights, I want to be able to do back-to-back Angels if I play one, because the board from the Prime Speaker can get clumped pretty fast, and then you're just out of options.
So now we do see Restoration Angel on the end step here by Rick. Rick is going to cast a Loxodon Smiter, going to follow that up with a Thragtusk, gain himself 5 life, push him up to 29, creating a little bit better of a board presence. And now you do see kind of the drawback of
hiding that
Angel Serenity now, as it would be a very nice target for the flashback and then Burial Rights.
Yeah, and tempo is the thing that Rick is trying to fight for. He's got Feeling of Dread, and again, those Lingering Souls tokens protected him last turn, but not this turn. Feeling of Dread is a very scary card to play against right now, and because Brandon did not draw that land, it would have been crucial to play another Angel Serenity this turn and hold up Abrupt Decay.
We're going to see Abrupt Decay take care of this Loxodon Smiter right away. Does not want to get blown up by a Restoration Angel.
Which is a fair assessment. And he does have a Restoration Angel to block as well, but because of that Township on both sides of the board, Rick will be able to activate his, forcing a trade there. So he is going to have to put the Angel Serenity up against the Restoration Angel and chump block the Thragtusk with his own Restoration Angel. Yeah, just stuck on 6 lands is where you don't want to be. A lot of sideboard games, that's where, when you say you like 4 mulches, they really come in handy after sideboard.
Yeah, the sideboard games are just so much different than the game ones.
Yep. And the mulches really help in those slow games. Well, I mean, that's the thing about Magic right now. Game 1 is all about ignoring your opponent. Game 2 is interacting.
Yep.
So, like, since the last 5 years, I've realized that games last about 3 more turns after sideboarded games do. They just last a little bit longer than the first games, and you can really prepare your decks for that. And that's one thing I really like doing, is bringing more cards in with flashback and things like that. Just have more spells. But we're going to see 9 power added to the board from Rick through Thragtusk and Smiter. Restoration Angel comes down for Brandon. He gets to untap, hopefully finding some big action spell. He needs something. That's not a bad card. I like going Thragtusk, Arbor Elf here. We just get more chump blockers on the board.
Yep.
Gives us a 15. That Feeling of Dread is something that you have to be concerned about. No pun needed. I'm not even going to go there.
I was going to give you a B+, but you said no pun, so no fair grades here.
I mean, the card does it itself. Feeling of Dread, sitting in the graveyard. It's a good flavor one. Thank you for whoever designed Innistrad. It's such a good set.
I mean, this is definitely a tough situation here because you would think that most times a Feeling of Dread is not the kind of card you want in this matchup, as we're going to see in Barrel Rights on the Acidic Slime.
I guess, oh yeah, we do have another Abrupt Decay, right?
Yep. I think he has an Abrupt Decay at the ready.
He's just prepared to kill that Smiter. Not afraid of Restoration Angel anymore.
And again, we know that Rick does have the Defensive Sphere in his hand, and this again could be a huge blowout. As you see, it's going to target
the Acidic Slime.
The Acidic Slime.
And now that he's free from Acidic Slime, well, he does know Brandon has one in hand, but now he's just going for lethal here. He's going for the tap down, kills the guy, taps the 2 guys down, and that's game. That is game over.
So you see, it's going to go over there. These are going to get tapped here. Here come the Doofuses, and even if he does Abrupt Decay, that Acidic Slime, that, comes into play, blows up a thing, and then he gets that in front of a Thragtusk, but you see 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 damage. And I think, Brad, we're going to move on to a game number 3 here.
We are, yeah, and that's just it. Like, he had an Umbrella Rights, he had that Angel Serenity locked under one, and that was the pivotal turn.
Yep.
He had this game really locked up. Rick was down to not many options, had to use the resources he had. Brandon had all of them and just got a little greedy. I feel putting that underneath was just not even it wasn't a bad play, it was a greedy play.
And we do see a concession here from Brandon. So we are going to move on to a 3rd and final game between Prime Speaker Bant and Junk Reanimator. Again, stay tuned after this game. We do have our finals match. We do have 12 months of premium. Of course, we do have to give away those 6 months of premium for that question I asked you a little bit earlier.
And in the finals, we're going to see if John Cuvier can take down back-to-back opens in Orlando.
That is correct.
And we'll be giving away an entire year of premium. And I can't even add up. That's like 50 episodes of Above the Curve. You can see 50 episodes of me on Above the Curve.
You guys are just going to skip 2 weeks?
I mean, those are like Pro Tour testing. I probably only make 2 Pro Tours.
Oh, okay.
So.
Fair enough.
We're going to be honest here.
Lazy. You guys are lazy. It's unbelievable.
That we skip 2?
Yeah.
And we just spend, 130 hours playtesting.
That's right. It's unbelievable.
It's just so lazy.
Yeah. It's just unacceptable behavior. Again, if you guys are joining us, Cedric Phillips, Brad Nelson here in Star City Games Open Series in Orlando, Florida. You guys can join us on Twitter, join in the conversation at SCG Live, hashtag SCGORL. We'll be checking your tweets all day long during the finals of this tournament, also all day during our 2nd Standard Open. If you guys are up this morning, bless your hearts. It's early.
It is very early.
It's impressive that she could be here this early this morning.
What's actually impressive is these games. We are 75 minutes into the semifinals.
You got to battle it out. Who wants to make the finals and dethrone John Cuvier? That's the question. Who wants it bad enough?
I think the problem is both these players want it bad enough, and they're both showing that they are decent enough to take down a John, and they have the matchup.
Yeah.
So I think John is going to have a struggle. He's got the uphill battle, but he is fine playing from behind, as we can see all day long. He's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't have a good Junk Reanimator player, but you know what? I'm probably the best player in this room, and I'm going to take it down. He's not actually a pretty modest guy. I shouldn't be talking for him.
Sure.
He's very humble.
John, again, playing a traditional Jund-controlled deck list, does have 2 main deck ground seals, is 3-0 against Junk Reanimator this weekend, and is just waiting for his finals opponent. Is it going to be Brandon Ross playing Junk Reanimator? Is it going to be Rick Meditz playing Prime Speaker Bant? We're going to find out after this game, as you do see both players shuffling up here, kind of reviewing their sideboards. Rick did bring in a card that we did not expect in the Feeling of Dread, and it did pay off in spades.
It was pretty impressive. I feel like the biggest blunder was putting that Angel into play for value when you didn't need to. I would have just started to just use Acidic Slimes that one to let Rick go double creature like he did a couple turns in a row and get the beats on. He just trades with his Acidic Slime, gets 2-for-1 value out of it, leaves those Sphinx's Revs stuck in hand, casting for 2 or 3 instead of 5 or 6.
You can definitely see the fear as well of, when you know a player has Graveyard Hate, Tormod's Scripts, Rest in Peace, something like that. You can see it's definitely affecting Brandon's play.
Yeah.
Whereas game 1, he doesn't have to make those plays because those Angels will be there forever, and I'll get to them when I need them. But with both Angels in the graveyard after a Supreme Verdict and Umbrella Rights in your hand, you're thinking, I might want to get one of those out of there so that if he does top deck a Tormod's Script, I don't lose access to my Angels.
I mean, maybe it was just a curiosity thing, because one of the things that I do on Magic Online when I'm playtesting decks is I make every line.
Sure.
And just to see how it plays out. And one of them that I found interesting when I played against Prime Speaker Bant was I'm not going to worry about Graveyard Hate. I'm going to trade resources all game long and cast Acidic Slime if I don't die every turn and see what happens. Just try to cast Acidic Slime every turn.
Okay.
Restoration Angel it, whatever. And if I have like a good creature from graveyard, rather Acidic Slime and blow up a lamp. And what I found is that just cripples them. Around turn 10 or 11, they didn't make all their land drops. They only have like 5 lands in play. They can't double spell you when you're double spelling them. And that's the line. So I think a lot of random players might not have found that yet.
Okay.
Like just the Acidic Slime return, because when he wrathed, I was like, perfect opportunity to start Acidic Slime.
Yeah. Board was clear.
Even against 8 lands to 6, you just want to keep doing that. That's your line.
Yeah, he has the opportunity to establish a lot of different things there. He could have established a Thragtusk, could have established an Obsidian at that turn. It's certainly arguable about what the best play was. Obviously, Acidic Slime is probably your line there. Even bringing back an Angel of Serenity, it makes sense. The line of thought there. You don't want to lose to a top deck Tormod Script because Angels are so important in this matchup. And that's the line he chose, and unfortunately it did backfire on him. So we'll see exactly what Brandon does try to do game 3 here.
I mean, that was probably a very good play in this matchup when your opponent doesn't have feeling of dread. And we saw Rick do that earlier yesterday, and finally we see it pay off. That was a powerful turn.
Who knew? Feeling of Dread, another one of those cards that's actually quite good. We saw that card be an all-star for Alexander Hayne at Pro Tour Barcelona in his Miracles deck when he took the title there, and makes you wonder, maybe that card's a little bit underplayed right now.
I remember that Pro Tour vividly. I was helping Josh show test for his semifinals in it, and we were playing a Naya deck. And I was like figuring out everything. I thought so long, and I'm like, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. And on turn 2, Alexander Hayne goes, in your upkeep, tap your elf. And then I just grabbed my head. I'm like, I was so wrong because I didn't see that line, that time walk effect. And that changed the whole course of the match.
Sure.
I mean, we still were favored because we had a card that was dead in the entire format except for that matchup, which was Nevermore.
Okay.
Worst card I've ever played in a sideboard at a Pro Tour, except beat Miracles. Name and treat, they can't win. But we never drew one.
It's a frown town.
Yeah.
As we do see both players laying out their 7 cards here. Game 3 of our semifinals. The winner of this match will play against Jean Cuvier, and we will see if we can crown champion, as Rick is going to go down to 6 cards.
Now that is Rick's 3rd mulligan of the match against Brandon 0. That's one thing about the Prime Speaker Bant deck. It does not have the Salvage Umbrella Rights mulch plan that Junk Reanimator does to give it consistency. They both are playing relatively the same spells, except for those. It's pretty much Hate and Prime Speakers are the different cards in Rick's deck, and the Umbrella Rights and things like that different in Brandon's. And that's one of the big things that Junk Reanimator players love is the consistency of a lot of good hands and mulligans. Well, it's not a blitz deck. If you mulligan to 6, it doesn't mean you've already lost.
Yep. And we just see game 1 where Rick did mulligan to 5, put up one heck of a fight.
Well, that was probably one of the best games I've ever. I know that's the best game I've ever commentated, just how big of a grind it was. But one of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah, very, very back and forth game.
Yeah, 60 minutes. He played every single spell on his deck, and Brandon killed him with Critterhoof when he could have let him draw a card and still died. I loved it.
So we do see Brandon going to shuffle up Rick's deck here. Rick going to lay out his next 6, hopefully able to keep that so we can have a bit of a fair fight here.
Well, you know what he does with 5 cards. I don't know how fair we want it. Like,
that's true.
This day has to go on.
Yeah, we could be. It might be time to buckle in here. You make a very good point, my friend.
I don't know about you, but I want a breakfast break today.
All right, 6 cards. How do we do? It looks like he's content. Underway, game 3. Godless Shrine to start for Brandon. We'll see a Temple Garden here for Rick. The early turns, of course, are just about establishing the mana base. You see an Absence Pilgrim drawn. You see a mulch there. And we are going to see a mulch cast here by Brandon, turning over a Temple Garden, a Woodland Cemetery, a Lotless Troll, and a Restoration Angel. So that is going to be a draw 2.
Yeah. So It's pretty interesting because he only had one green source. He mulched, but if that was an Arbelf, I think I'd definitely play that into the mulch. I love the accelerators into the diggers.
Sure.
In case you draw another 2-drop. We do have a hoof in hand, so we don't need to draw one. We don't need to draw one. And now the Avacyn Pilgrims comes down, Threat for the next turn, Lingering Souls as well. And if we just hit 8 mana, we got some action.
Yes, we do. As we do see an Avacyn's Pilgrim here for Brandon, you're going to see him play an Isolated Chapel, and we're going to see a Thragtusk join the party.
All right, that's going to get Brandon up to 25. I'm going to have Thragtusk nightmares after this weekend, aren't I?
I've had them for the past couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you do this so often, I've seen a lot of Thragtusks in my day. And Thragtusk was directly responsible for me qualifying for Pro Tour Seattle, but I've had enough. I have had enough of him.
What was the format?
It was just a standard. I was playing Bampod, and I was just Thragtusk and Restoration Angeling, and I did that so many times that day and have commentated on so much. I have seen enough of that 5/3 beast.
Well, good thing. Next week I'm going to shake it up for you, okay?
All right, I can't wait. As we do see a Vault of the Archangel here. Here comes the 5/3 beast that you need to bring 2 spears for. And we're going to see Restoration Angel.
Just for the block. And that's fine. Fair. Yeah. Brandon's like, okay, cool.
Happy with the trade. Beast token going to come into play, and we'll see.
They were
reaching for you. He was reaching for you.
This is just... Can we do something about this?
Like these are very thinly veiled daggers at you.
Yes. I feel like we should be able to use Brad Nelson tokens.
We'll have to talk to your people. Have to talk to our people, as we're going to see a a Lingering Souls, and he's not going to flash it back. Thragtusk is just going to be played, and Rick is going to pass the turn back.
I do like that he's playing around the Supreme Verdict. He knows it's coming. He's got 6 lands. All he has to do is draw 2 more lands, and the game is over. It's just the longest draw step. Oh wait, we have 1 land. We just need to draw land.
Yeah. And we do see Unburial Rites the draw step there for Brandon. Of course, he does have Crater
that'll be great
in his hand.
And that'll help him play that Thragtusk. Did not get Wrath last turn, so I think the coast is clear, and it's fine to just progress our board. Let's attack for 2, drop Rick down to 21, and get a Thragtusk into play, putting us up to 30. About only half of the life total that he had in game 1.
Yeah, as we are going to see those spirits attack. We're going to see an Unburial Rites here. That's going to bring back a Thragtusk, giving himself a little bit of a defense against the Supreme Verdict, and he is just going to pass the turn back. So no flashback of that Lingering Souls just yet. So we're going to see a Gavany Township here, and it is Prime Speaker Zagana time.
All right, it is time to draw. It is prime time. That is fine, because we got a Crater Hoof. Can't think of a rhyme word. Man, I'm so close.
That's all right. We'll get you the thesaurus.
Yeah.
Maybe Google. We can help you out. As you see, Rick is going to take a look at their game here. So Rick has drawn
because we have a Crater
Hoof cards.
1 time. There we go. No, it's the same word as time. Never mind.
You can't rhyme time and time. You're not.
Whatever. We can top deck.
We
can top deck a land. Yeah. That was really awkward.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that was real
bad. Was that supposed to be Lil Wayne? I don't know. I have no idea.
I didn't commit to it. That was my problem.
Yeah, I've literally no clue what that was.
Would not commit. I wanted to do it, but I didn't commit. But I'm very committed to a top deck land.
And so all those cards that Rick did draw, you see the last one in his hand.
It's a free spell, yeah. Really good with Prime Speaker. I like that. I like that interaction. That's actually kind of cool that you can Sphinx's Rever Prime Speaker into a 0-drop. I like the Tormod scripts in this deck.
So he does play Tormod script. He does discard Breeding Pool, and Brandon hoping to draw a land. Brad hoping with him. We see a Sun Petal Grove as the draw step.
Crater Hoof!
Unbiased reporting here from Brad Nelson, as we do see a Crater Hoof Behemoth be put onto the stack. Going to resolve the ability. The trigger does resolve. We see an attack for a boatload of damage. And Brad is just unbiased in his reporting.
51 trample damage coming to your face.
And we have a handshake. Brandon Ross with Junk Reanimator. We have finally got a Crater Hoof Behemoth resolution here for Brad Nelson. Defeats Rick Meditz and his Prime Speakers Bant deck. And if you had headphones on, I feel bad for your ears.
I don't.
But we have not just one player happy in Brandon Ross moving on to the finals, but we have a commentator happy here as well in the booth.
Oh, I got to finally see a hoof.
A real hoof. It took you a day. Oh, we're through. This was round 8. It took you 11 rounds.
It took me 11 rounds to find a good hoof.
Yeah.
He hooked in game 1, but that wasn't a good hook. That didn't feel good.
Tough crowd.
Yeah.
Tough crowd indeed.